Mark chapter 13, verses 14 to 23. In these verses, Jesus is describing how the people should flee when they see the abomination that causes desolation. Whilst it's thought that Jesus could be talking about an event due to come to pass in the short term, he's also talking about the end of the age. There's a sense of urgency in verses 15 and 16. Jesus says no one should go back to their homes for their belongings or out to the fields for their cloak. Lives clearly depended on a speedy response, so much so that I could feel a sense of concern rising up in me as I read. Reading these verses reminded me of being a teenager in the south of France as a forest fire engulfed the area. The campsite was up in the hills and was being evacuated because we were in the path of the fire. We had to just go. There was a real sense of urgency and panic all around as people frantically tried to leave the area. My parents were focused. There was no pausing. There were no time for distractions. In verse 21, Jesus warns the people against false messiahs and false prophets who will perform signs and wonders to deceive, and he urges the listeners to be on their guard. When life feels uncertain, I find it reassuring that God knows it all. I remind myself that he is the creator of the universe. He is the beginning and the end, and nothing takes him by surprise. So the fact that Jesus is sharing this warning means we will be exposed to deceivers and distractions. So we must not become complacent. Like my parents getting their 4 children out of imminent danger, we too must be completely focused. But we don't know the details about what Jesus is referring to. We don't know what the deceivers will look like or how they will present in the world around us. But reflecting on these verses causes me to think about the many ways we can be enticed away from the truth, and how we might not recognise them for what they really are. So I feel we all need to examine our lives and consider if we might be losing our focus on Jesus. And we need to stand with each other and pray with and for one another to reduce the risk of anyone falling away from the truth.